Hello everyone and welcome to the Ultimate Guide to Space Scenes in Blender series. Today we are going to create a procedural nebula background and then turn it into an HDRI. This is just the beginning before we dive into creating more complex space scenes in the upcoming videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe and let's get started. First, delete everything in the scene and switch to render mode. Then go to the shader editor and change the shader type from object to world. The object shader is used for applying materials to different objects, while the world shader applies a material to your background. Now add a world node texture and connect it to the surface. Then add a mask node and set it to power. What this node basically does is increase the contrast, and by increasing the exponent I can increase the contrast, and I set the exponent to 5.5. Now I duplicate this mask node and set it to multiply, and I set value to 2. I set the scale of the world node texture to 2, then I select the world node texture and press Ctrl T to add the mapping and texture coordinate nodes. Now between the mapping and texture coordinates, we need to add a mix color node, then add a noise texture and connect it to the B socket. If I change the factor from 0.5 to 0.15, you can see that we start getting a nebula-like shape. Now duplicate the world node texture and move it over here. I also duplicate the mix node and place it here. This time I change the blending mode from mix to soft light and connect the distance output of the world node texture to the B socket. Then I increase the scale of this world node texture. Between the mix node and the world node texture, I add another power node and adjust the exponent. Now what we need to do is duplicate this world node texture and mess it up using Ctrl+Shift+D. Then I duplicate this mask node as well and set it to multiply. I connect value to value, then I duplicate this mask node and set this to add and connect this mask node value to add. Now we need to adjust the scale. First I increase the scale of this world node texture from 2 to 14. And I reduce the value of this node from 1 to 0.1, and I think this looks amazing. Now you connect the value output to the strength of the background shader, and for my nebula I choose a blue color. Another thing I prefer to do is go to color management and change my look to very high contrast. Now add a new background shader, add a noise texture and change the noise type to rigid multifractal. Increase the detail, roughness, offset and gain. Then add a color ramp, flip the color ramp and set the position of the black color step to 0.936. Add a new noise texture, set the scale to 4, reduce the roughness and detail values, add a mix node, Connect this socket to the mix color node and connect the noise texture to the B socket. Oh, we made a small mistake. Actually, you need to connect the color ramp to the factory input of the mix color node. So now change the blending mode to color dodge and reduce the value of this color. Add a new power node and increase exponent. Duplicate the node and this time set it to multiply and set the value to 6. Add a color ramp. Connect the value output of the mouse node to the strength input and connect the color ramp to the background color. Now move this white color stop over here and change its color to yellow. Then increase the value of this black color stop as well and choose an orangish color for it. Now you can play with the settings until you get the result you want. Next, add an add shader node and connect both background shaders to it. The hue saturation value node here and set the hue to 0.2. Now let's add some stars to our background. First, add a background shader, then add a Warner texture and the color ramp. Set the scale to 50. Flip the color ramp and pull the black color stop closer to the white one. Add a power node and set the exponent to 1.5. Duplicate the mask node and set the value to 30. Add a noise texture. Duplicate the mask again and connect the factor to value. Then add the color ramp and bring both color stops toward the middle. Now connect the value to strength. Duplicate the add shader and connect this shader to it. Add a new noise texture and the color ramp. Connect factor to factor. I change the black color stop color to blue and change this one to yellow. Now connect this color ramp to the background color and adjust the values to get the desired result. Now we are done building the background, so let's add a camera and press Ctrl+Alt+0 to go to the camera view. I think it's a good idea to set the focal length to 20mm and you can also change the resolution to 2560 by 1280. Now go to the compositing section, click new, open this drop down and change the compositor from disable to always. This lets you always see the composited image in the viewport. Now add a glare node and a gamma node. Set the samples to 10 and take a render of the scene. Go back to the compositing section, change device from CPU to GPU. So I like to change the Strix angle to 45 degrees and play around with these settings a bit. And now we are done. The only thing left is learning how to turn this scene into an HDRI. To convert this into an HDRI, first switch to camera view and set your desired resolution. For example, for an 8K HDRI, I set the resolution X to 8000 and Y to 4000. You You also need to switch to cycles, then go to the object data properties and set the lens type to panoramic and set the panorama type to equirectangular. Go to render properties and set the samples to a very low value. For example, 16 or 8 or something like that. Uncheck the denoiser and render your image. After your scene is rendered, go to the compositing section and connect the image output to the viewer node. Then go to the rendering tab, select your viewer node, click on image and choose save as. Select your desired location and name your file. You can change the file format to Radiance HDR, but I think a better option is using OpenXR. So I change the format to OpenXR, set the color depth to float half, and set the codec to DWAA. This reduces the file size significantly. Now if I go to the shader editor and add an environment texture and open the HDRI file, you can see that our HDRI works correctly. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.